Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live ukulele jam with me, Matt. It's Monday, it's Kanikapila time. It's so great to see you all. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. Let me know how you are in the comments and what you've been up to. So we're going to have a Hollies special tonight, which I'm really excited about. This was Karen's idea, and Karen did a lot of the work and research into the songs for these. And do you know what? I've absolutely had a ball playing them, arranging them, practicing them. They are such good songs and just so much fun to play. So, and also I think these are quite beginner friendly. We've got some quite interesting stuff going on, but it's definitely all achievable, which is fantastic. Lots of CFs and Gs and things like that. So yeah, Hollies special tonight, and we're kind of going to do we had a spate a while ago of doing classic albums, do you remember, and different bands and stuff, and we're going to do a little bit more of that again because it was really popular. So we're going to do a Kinks special next week for anyone that's into the Kinks. Some really beautiful pieces in that one, as well as some fun stuff which should be good. So for strummers, hi Joe, we'll conquer the world one day, hey. A lot of you are saying it's gone very chilly, both in the US and Germany. It's definitely gone cold here. I almost didn't go out today, but had to go and feed the birds, and it was a bit of a surprise when I did get out there. So yeah, fantastic. Hi Tim, I hope all's good over on Oahu. I hope you're keeping well. Fantastic. Hi Pam. Yeah, I bet it's chilly up there in Yorkshire, even colder than down here, I suspect. So yeah, goodness. So yeah, I'll get us going for tonight. Just a couple of things to tell you about before we start. It's not a lot tonight really, but I wanted to let you know that this Wednesday we've got another live ukulele lesson. We do these every Wednesday, obviously. Members of my site get all of the instruction and the sheets and everything for free, and we're going to do a lesson on how to build any chords. So if you've ever wondered about a chord and thought, what the heck is that, you know, like an F sharp minor 7 flat 5, hard enough to say it, let alone play it right, I'll explain what it is. And it's a really good bit of theory, because when you understand how chords are formed, you're able to find them on the fretboard and play them much easier. Plus, it's really satisfying to know what's going on in songs and music as well, which is fantastic. So the sheets are a bit crazy. I think there's 16 or 17 pages. I'm going to make a couple of changes to them because there was a couple of tiny errors, just like little things that I didn't put in quite the right place. So if you have downloaded your sheets, don't worry, it's literally a couple of dots that we can put here and there, or you just hang on for another day or two. Hopefully I'll get that done tomorrow. Certainly it'll be Wednesday morning, obviously before the lesson, so just to give you a heads up. Oh, it's literally freezing in northern Scotland. To be honest, Laura, it mightn't be too bad a thing. It's driving me mad a bit at the moment, how many flies there are down here. I think the warm autumn's meant that they haven't been killed off, so maybe that'll be a good thing, I don't know. Hi Rebecca, emailed a question about Wednesday. Let me know, Rebecca. Just ping it in the comments what it was, because I'll be totally honest, I'm way behind with my emails at the moment. I'm trying to get through them as quickly as I can, but I still haven't quite caught up from when I went away on holiday, but I will get there. But if it's a simple message, just ping it here and I'll let you know either now or at the end of the session as well. And that reminds me, anyone that wants to join in the community chat and get involved, just make sure you've got your little live chat tab open. It will say top chat, live chat, and I think paid chat. We don't really do paid chat, so don't worry about that. So just make sure you've got your live chat, and then you'll see every message that comes up rather than just the highlights. And remember, you can still download the sheets. They're completely for free. They're available via the link in the comments and the description as well. Right, let's get Holly-tastic and make a start. So here we go. I'll just do a quick brief explanation. So we've got two types of music, the way it's written out here. We've got the original way I always did it on Kanikapila, where we've got these chord boxes. So basically every chord box is a measure. Like, think of a measure as a chunk in music. And in most popular music, a chunk is 4 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. And then we number the chords 1 through to 7 in every key, and each of those chords has a flavour. You can almost think of it like a colour as well. So if you're an artist and you were painting a picture, you'd have these 7 colours that you could create your picture from. That's a bit like a composer with music. And each of those colours has its own personality. So the 1 chord makes you feel at home, sets you off on a journey. 2 chord is the pop-tastic minor. It's a minor chord, D minor in this case, but doesn't really kind of create too much drama. 3 chord is the sad chord in any key. 4 chord creates a sense of change and movement. 5 chord creates tension that makes you want to go back to the start. 6 chord is a touch of melancholy, that's another minor. And then 7 is your jazz chord, that unusual diminished or half diminished chord. And you'll notice that tonight, well, we've got a couple of unusual ones, which you'll see here in the bridge, but mostly the chords are relatively simple. And the first 2 songs certainly are almost interchangeable in terms of the chords. I mean, if I just flick between the 2, just take a look at that sheet with the C and the F in the verse. And if I just whiz forward, look at that. It looks so similar. So we've got some really similar things going on, which is great. And you might think, well, don't they all sound the same then? But no, there's all the melody is different and the feel and the tempo and things like that. So let's have a look at what's going on in this one then. So this is Carrie-Anne. This was written in 1967 and it was written about Marianne Faithfull. Apparently all the boys from the Hollies were a bit obsessed with her. I think all the boys from the Rolling Stones were in various other bands as well, weren't they? So it's a thinly veiled Marianne Carrie-Anne change there. That's what it's about, and it's just a sweet kind of a kind of love tune, boy meets girl type thing. Yeah, this one's unusually, couldn't get the word out, features steel drums in the instrumental, which is really interesting. It's kind of fun. I was listening to the original, and because the steel drums aren't perfectly in tune, when it goes to the instrumental, it's ever so slightly out of tune, but I kind of love that about it. It's really rough and ready. I think it's a great song. I really do. Okay, so let's have a look. So the first bit, the intro, we just go between the 1 chord, which, as I say, kind of just makes you feel like you're setting off on a journey, and the 5 chord, G. So C, D, E, F, G. That's why we call it 5 chord. And that 5 chord makes you want to go back to the 1 chord, which is exactly what we've done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple as that for the intro. Then we go to the choruses, to the verses, sorry. And these go between the 1 chord, which is C, as we just found out, and the 4 chord, which is F. C, D, E, F. See how easy peasy that is, lemon squeezy, right? 4 chord is just the 4th in the key. And that's a really common thing to do in lots of folk songs and pop songs. The 1 chord makes you feel kind of rested and grounded. The 4 chord creates a sense of change. And then the 5 chord often comes in at the end of the line. In this case, you see it right at the end of the verse to create some tension, basically. Now you could play this loads of different ways in terms of the strumming and the patterns and things like that. But I'm going to do a really simple walk, running, walk, running. Okay, if you're a fan of your downs and ups, that's down, down, up, down, down, up. I like to think about it phonetically because it kind of helps me stay in tune. 1 and a 2 and a, or think of it as walk, running, walk, running, walk, running, walk, running. It's that simple, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy, as in John is indicated in emoticon form. There we go. Cool. So that means the verses. Notice you've got 2 chords in one measure. That means they have 2 beats or half a measure each. So 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. And any blank boxes you get in Kanikapila or this form of chord table just means you keep doing the same thing. So the whole of the verses is just C to F 7 times, and then you get that G in the end. So if I get my lyrics up, I'll give you an example verse so we can do it. This one's way out of comfort zone for my range, by the way. So I'll apologise afterwards if anyone's windows shatter or cats run out of the house or whatever. Here we go. 1 2 3 4. When we were at school, our games were simple. I played the janitor, you played the monitor, then you played with older boys and prefects. What's the attraction? Here we go. What they're doing. See, if I leave that G hanging, it creates a sense of tension that needs to be answered, and that's exactly what we do in the chorus. Hey, Carrie-Anne, what's your game now? Can anybody play? Hey, Carrie-Anne, what's your game now? Can anybody play? It's really that simple. How cool is that, right? So 2 C's, 2 F's, and then 4 Gs for the chorus, which is really nice. You can think of that as a 1-4-5 progression again and again as well. Hi Robin, I hope you're doing well. Mickey Mouse, yeah. Hello Pluto. Hey Carrie-Anne. I know what you mean, absolutely. Hi Anthony, hope you're doing well. Thanks for your text earlier. That looked like an ace library gig, by the way. So super cool. Okay, so that's the chorus and the verses. Pretty much the same thing, isn't it? Which is great. Then we go to something a bit more unusual and exotic for the bridge, which is really, really lovely. And when we go to a bridge, which is kind of like a section that just breaks things up and makes it sound a little bit different, we often go to the relative minor or we go to the 4 chord. And here we go to the 4 chord and F chord. Okay, really, really common thing to do. Remember that 4 chord, its personality is change. In the bridge, we want a sense of change. That's why it exists, basically. So we go to the 4 chord, that F chord, and notice this is the first time that chord's been held for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go to a B flat. I'll give you a couple of tips on that and then we'll talk about why it's there. So a couple of tips. Straight arm as much as possible. That's really, really important. And then notice that we've got these nice fingers at a 45-degree angle. So rather than being kind of straight like that, which is really awkward, they're reaching over, and that allows me to reach this 3rd fret a little bit more easier with my ring finger. You can, of course, if you prefer, to bar the whole of that 1st fret. That's not a problem as well. And you can keep those 2 down. It's a tricky old chord that everyone hates B flat, but it's worth learning because it comes up in so many pieces of music. Yeah, me too, Karen. It was amazing playing these because it was just like, oh, every song's so joyous. I absolutely love it. So that chord, the B flat, we call it the 4 of the 4. And notice I've really started hinting at this so you guys start to understand and see where it's used. And, oh, excuse me, you know how the verses, they go between 1 and 4? Help if I actually held out the right amount of fingers, sorry, 1 and 4. That's a really common thing to do, as I say, in folk music, because you get the steadiness and then the change. Well, this is kind of the equivalent in the key of F. We're not going to think of it as a new key, but notice that B flat is 4 above it. So if I count up from F now, F, G, A, B flat. So that's why we call that the 4 of 4. F is the 4th chord in the key of C, and B flat is the 4th chord in the key of F. If all that goes over your head, it doesn't matter as long as you play it and it sounds great, right? So that's the main thing. So in the chorus, we've got 2 measures of F. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 measure of B flat, and then back to F. Another 2 measures of F. B flat. Then this time the tension of G. And we hang on that for 5 measures. It really builds the tension, which is fantastic. Now, if you want to, what you can do is add sus chords into that. A sus chord is when you take a normal chord, like a G major, and you take the 3rd note of the chord, so G, A, B. Again, don't sweat the theory, but if it's interesting, the 3rd note in the key of G is B, G, A, B. And we take that B note and we either move it up to a C for a sus4, or we take it away for an A for a sus2. Okay, so 3, sus4, sus2. So when we play a G chord, what we can do is we can put our little finger down on the 3rd fret of the A string. That's your sus4. And we can also take away your 2nd finger, or whichever finger's on the A string, for a sus2. This is a really common thing for guitarists to do as well. They often do this. Still means we've still got that G chord underneath, which is the important thing, but it stops us getting like really bored of playing the same chord over and over, basically. So yeah, this one we've got a chorus and a bridge in Drani. I'm just making sure I've labelled it on the on the sheet. So the chorus is kind of very similar. It's the Hey Carrie-Anne bit. That's like the real pop-tastic bit, and then the bridge is where it goes to the F section. So really cool, right? So basically, in terms of the structure, relatively simple. Got a little intro, C and G. Then we go verse, chorus, then the bridge, instrumental, which is the same as a verse, chorus, verse, chorus, and then outro, which is really, really simple. So really kind of quite a common kind of, it's often called an AB format, which just means verse, chorus, bridge, chorus sort of thing. So really simple, really brilliant. So just notice the chords are different in the intro. That's the main thing you've got to remember. And otherwise, we can have a try at this. Now, there is a little bit of time for a solo in here if you wanted to have a go when we get to this bit, and it's just an instrumental verse. Because we're in the key of C, we're going to use the C major pentatonic or the A minor, and you regulars, which is most you, you'll know that that's the A minor pentatonic is your open A string and all your dots. So 3rd fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 10th fret, 12th fret. Okay, that's A, C, D, E, and G, and then another A. Those are the kind of nicest sounding notes in this phrase, right? And you can also play it on the E string, and you just have to make sure, remember, we don't play the 7th fret. We go up to the 8th fret. Other than that, you can hit all your dots as well. And finally, you can also play it down here by playing an open C string, 2nd fret for D, open E string, 3rd fret for G, open A string, 3rd fret for C. All right, all of those notes are in your free scales and reference sheets. I won't bring them up on the screen now because most of you know your A minor and your C pentatonics now, but they are available in your scale reference sheets. You only need to print that off or keep it on your tablet once, and you can use it for every Kanikapila. Okay, so let's give it a go. If you wanted to do, remember, I always say this, but it's really important because I think it really helps people. You don't need to do things really complicated. I'll do like a 4-note solo. Oh, hang on, I haven't got my speaker on. Let me just get my speaker on a sec so you can actually hear the backing track. Hopefully it's not too crazy loud. Here we go. Should get there in a second. There we go. So see, you don't have to make it super complex. You can have a go at this and it sounds great. And as I always say, the only people that can hear you are your neighbours, relatives, cats, dogs, whoever you're with, right? And if you're on your own, even better, make loads of noise and you'll be fine. Okay, let's give it a go then, guys, from the top. So yeah, Tim's just saying the steel drum solo, while out of tune, is still in a very playable range. How would you try and sort out those chords? They might even be root chords to the neck. In terms of the chords, I think it's the same as the verse chords, isn't it, Tim? I think I'd have to have a look, but yeah, leave that with me. I'll have a look, Tim, and get back to you about that. See whether it is different when it goes to steel drums. But so cool. I mean, you know. It's brilliant. Pop music was just starting to get really vibrant at this point, wasn't it? You had Penny Lane with the Beatles with the nice piccolo flute on it, and Brian Wilson was using all those unusual instruments for pop music. It's just great. Okay, right, here we go then. From the top, I'll stay here. Just make sure you can see my uke. Tip it down a little bit. Okay, here we go. Oh, no worries, Karen. I wondered where you were. I wondered where you were. I thought you've got to be here for Hollies week, but I hope the plumber manages to sort out whatever you've got going on. But yeah, no worries. Can always catch up later. Okay. Oh, Tim was saying up the neck. Oh yeah, totally up the neck. If anyone wants to try these chords up the neck, I'll show you a couple of options just quickly because it's cool to do. So for a C chord, the easiest way to play this up the neck is to take a normal G chord and just play it up here at 7 and 10. It sounds crazy, right? But this G chord, if you take it up, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, it becomes a C up here, and you can even hit the open note. So that's the one I might do for there. For the F chord, what I would do is bar either the bottom 3 or the whole of the 5th fret, little finger on 8. And then a brilliant thing about that shape is if you take it up to 7 and 10, you get the G. So you could do that. Dum, dum, bum, 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 bum. And in the chorus, when you go to G, you just take it up. Hey, Carrie-Anne, what's your game now? Can anybody play? So yeah, have a go at that if you feel like it. It's a fantastic thing to do. So yeah. Oh, I know, it's the worst thing in the world, isn't it? When when real life gets in the way. I know what you mean. Okay, here we go then. So, oh no, I'll stay on this one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our first verse. When we were at school, the games were simple. I played the janitor, you played the monitor, then you played with older boys and prefects. What's the attraction? What they're doing? Hey, Carrie-Anne, what's your game now? Can anybody play? What's your game now? Can anybody play? You were always something special to me, quite independent, never caring. You lost your charm as you were aging. Where's your magic disappearing? Hey, Carrie-Anne, what's your game now? Can anybody play? What's your game now? Can anybody play? Here's our bridge. You're so like a woman to me. So like a woman to me. Take a solo. Woo! Another chorus. Hey, Carrie-Anne, what's your game now? Can anybody play? Hey, Carrie-Anne, what's your game now? Can anybody play? People live and learn, but you're still learning. You use my mind and I'll be a teacher. When the lesson's over, you'll be with me. Then you'll hear the other people saying, hey, Carrie-Anne, what's your game now? Can anybody play? Hey, Carrie-Anne, what's your game now? Can anybody play? Oh man, that is such a fun song to play. Absolutely love that. So fantastic. Tim was just saying the sound of this song blew him away when he heard it in 1967. Not just the steel drum that he'd never heard before, but sneaky, lazy calypso rhythm track with a funky percussion, also new to me. That's a really nice way to sum it up. Thanks, Tim. I like that. Fantastic. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Because it's a really simple pop song. I mean, we're looking at those chords, and in the key of C, just C, F and G, most of it, isn't it? With the 4 of 4. Really simple. But I mean, adding that really beautiful rhythm in and then the steel drums, it makes it sound really exotic. And it's just so cool. I was watching it on YouTube earlier and I saw him playing it live, and then I was listening to the album, and my goodness, it's just so much fun, so much energy and stuff. The same with the next one that we're going to do. We're going to have a look at what was it we're going to do next? Is it Bus Stop or no, On a Carousel? Yeah. If you look up the black and white video of them playing this on YouTube, it's really cool, and it does things like, ahead of its time, it does things like kind of cutting to them playing guitar down here, and it just looks so cool and so effortless, which is fantastic as well. So yeah, superb. And people sometimes get a bit snobby about songs that don't have a lot of chords in, but I mean, you know, the Plumber's there, but the blues, you know, only had 3 chords in a lot of the songs, and it's really, really appreciated. And to create a really beautiful pop song, I think is really a kind of lost skill. You know, those instant kind of 3-minute pop songs where you're like, wow, just brilliant, just brilliant. So moving on to On a Carousel now, which is our next song. Now, this is still 1967, but this was recorded just before Carrie-Anne, so we're going ever so slightly earlier. And they recorded this one at Abbey Road, believe it or not, in the same time, in the same studio space that the Beatles were recording Penny Lane. Imagine walking into Abbey Road Studios, you know, that morning, or more probably later in the evening, and you hear the Hollies in one room and then the Beatles putting together Penny Lane in the next. Oh gosh, just amazing. If you've never been to Abbey Road, it's such a wonderful place. Me and my wife, on our wedding day, we visited it and signed the wall and everything, and it's just like, there really is a magical buzz about the place. I'd love to record there. You can still record there, but I think it costs an arm and a leg nowadays. Anyway, I'm blathering. Let's have a look at On a Carousel. So this one was still in the key of C, so that keeps it simple. Now, if I do the intro and the first part of the verse, tell me if this sounds familiar, right? It's the same chords pretty much for a lot of the song as Carrie-Anne, which is kind of interesting in a way. Makes it easy to learn as well, which is fantastic, and it has the same energy. And again, you could be snobby about that, but the Beatles had a lot of songs in the early days which used all the same chords, and it's such a beautifully put together pop song. This absolutely brilliant. So we've got that 1-4 thing going on the whole time between C and F. C being a 1 chord, F being a 4 chord for change. What makes this song unusual is when we come down here to the 3rd line of the verse, rather than going to G straight away, which Carrie-Anne did, we've got this D7 chord. Now the D chord in the key of C is normally D minor, okay? But we've got D7, otherwise known as D dominant 7, and that creates a real tension. Now, I won't go too crazy about this, but if you're interested, it all goes back to that circle of fifths that we looked at in our live lesson a few weeks ago. And circle of fifths is just like a clock or a wheel where all the chords going clockwise go round in fifths. That just means C, G is 5 above C, D is 5 above G, A is 5 above D, and so on and so forth. And whenever you play dominant 7th chords like D7, they want to go to the chord that is to the anti-clockwise to them, which is a 5th above or a 4th below, you can think of it as. And then G wants to go to C. So we get these little chord runs like D to G to C, which is really common. That's called a 2-5-1 in the key of C. And basically that's what's going on here. That's why that D7 is there, even though it's not kind of what you'd expect to come in the key, because it creates a little 2-5-1. The D wants to go to G and G7, and then the G7 wants to go to C, which is really lovely. In terms of actually physically playing that, the cool thing is you can do it 2 different ways. You can do the kind of traditional version, if you like, of a D7, which is barring the whole of the 2nd fret and then 2nd finger on the 2nd fret there, 3rd fret, sorry, of the A string. Keep that wrist straight and a 45-degree angle. That's really important. The reason I bang on about those 45-degree angles is if you put your uke this way, you can see my fingers already have to go into an unnatural position. Whereas if my uke's like this, really comfortable. You can also do a Hawaiian D7, which is 2-0-2-0 from nose to toes. 2nd fret of the G string, open C, 2nd fret of the E string, open A. Either of those would be absolutely fine for this D7, okay? And it's kind of really nice. It creates like even more tension. So we get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've got this next bit, which is a really common thing to do, where we jump between the 5 and the 1 chord. And it creates this really nice kind of, sorry, I meant to start with a G chord. Now, because those chords contain interesting notes, this is kind of an experiment. Let me just play it a couple of times and then let me ask if you hear something, because I think it's fascinating. I'll do it again. Does anyone hear this? Da, 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 da. It happens in a lot of turnarounds before choruses. Because the G chord has this D note, this G note in it, when it goes to the G7, the note on the E string changes to an F. And then we get the open E in the C chord. And then when we go to the G7, we get this low D here. So we get this. We call it line cliche. And even though we're not picking out those notes, they're just hidden in the chords. If I play them through again, remember, you listen out for this. See if you can hear that in your mind as I play the chords. Sorry. Just put it in there again. Yeah. Da, 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 da. It's just a really sweet little turnaround, which I love. And I just love to point out those little things. I think that's really, really cool. So that's what's going on there. We call that line cliche, which is really, really lovely. Now the chorus is the Carrie-Anne chorus again. Amazing, right? But this time it's going to feel different because it's got a different melody going on. On a carousel, on a carousel. Okay, So relatively straightforward, which is really, really nice. So the verses will sound like this. Let me just do one and then we'll show you the bridge quickly. Totally agree, Karen. It's great, isn't it? Proper pop song, proper pop song. So the verses, riding along on a carousel, trying to catch up to you. Just C and F. Riding along on a carousel, will I catch up to you? Then that D7. Horses chasing, fools they're racing, so near yet so far. On a carousel, on a carousel. And then another verse. Nearer and nearer, changing horses, so on and so forth. Sorry, it's so hard for me to sing. It just sounds weird if I go an octave below, but I wanted to keep it in the key of C. But really cool, even though it's got the same chords, it has a different sound to Carrie-Anne, which is really interesting because of the melody. The bridge starts a bit like the Carrie-Anne bridge in that we go to the 4 chord, which again, remember, is a really common thing to do, and we hold on to that F for a while. Round and round and round and round and round and round with. Then we just go back to this 1-4-1 thing. C, F, C. Then we go to what I think this is the coolest part in the whole song. I love this. We go between the 4 and the 1 chord. And the first time we play the 4 chord for 2 beats. 1, 2, 1, 2. You only strum once, guys. That's really important. But you hold each chord for 2 beats. 1, 2, 1, 2. And then you do a similar thing twice, but this time each chord is 1 beat. 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. And then you go to G, G7, and then you're back to your C and F again. Okay. So whenever you finish a bridge section, go back and do that little interlude where you just go to C and F. You'll soon get an idea. If you're not sure what I'm doing, just know I'm playing a C and an F. So that will sound, the bridge will sound like this. Round and round and round and round, round and round with you. Up, down, up, down, up, down, too. I can't hit that note. And we're back to that interlude. So yeah, so I'm so sorry guys. I try not to sing too loud because this is going to sound quite painful, but it's got to be done, right? It's got to be done. That's it pretty much for the whole of this one. We haven't really got much chance for soloing. I mean, if you want to do a rudimentary solo over the interludes, you can do. They just go between C and F. And if you are doing that, it will be exactly the same notes we looked at in the last song. So all your dots on the A string and all your dots on your E string, apart from the 7th, jump up to 8. And also you can play your little C major pentatonic 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3 down here. Okay. Or you could just do what I'm going to do, which is literally just strum C and G, which sounds cool anyway. Should we give it a go? Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. And well, I'll put this version on. Remember, I tend to keep this version up on screen rather than the original chord blocks. But if you've downloaded it and you prefer the chord blocks, you can have them as well. It just means I haven't got to look over there when I'm reading lyrics. I can look dead ahead. So yeah, cool. Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, the air that I breathe. All I need is the air that I breathe and to love you. And Anthony, that's really interesting. The verses to that song, The Air That I Breathe, is the chords that Radiohead stole for Creep, if you've ever played that, which is quite interesting. Me Too, Tim. It's a classic, isn't it? Yeah. And who doesn't love a ride on a carousel? Even though my kids are 10 and 12 now, when we took them away for October half term, they went on the carousel twice at the adventure park. It's just such a fun thing to do, isn't it? Okay, here we go then from the top. Remember C, F, C, F to get going. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Riding along on a carousel, trying to catch up to you. Riding along on a carousel, will I catch up to you? Horses chasing, cars they're racing, so they get so far. On a carousel, on a carousel. Another verse. Nearer but nearer, changing horses still so far away. People are fighting for their places, just get in my way. Soon you'll leave and then I'll lose you, still we're going round. On a carousel, on a carousel. Here's our bridge. Round and round and round and round and round and round with you. Up, down, up, down, up, down too. And C and F. Yeah. Verse 3. As the leaf she drops the present that she won before, pulling ducks out of the water, got the highest score. Now's my chance and I must take it, a case of do or die. On a carousel, on a carousel. Round and round and round and round and round and round with you. Up, down too. Riding along on a carousel, trying to catch up to you. Riding along on a carousel, will I catch up to you? Now we take our ride together, you and me chasing her. On a carousel, on a carousel, on a carousel. Cool. Oh, that is such a good pop song, even if it's impossible to sing in the key of C. I love that song. Just brilliant, brilliant. I know I say that about every song, but that's because we always pick ones that we love. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Brilliant, brilliant pop song. I love Graham Nash as well. Of course, Graham Nash eventually, I think it was 1968, he left the Hollies and went over to live in California. Famously had a relationship with Joni Mitchell in Laurel Canyon and got to know David Crosby and Stephen Stills and eventually Neil Young, but first off those two, and they formed Crosby, Stills and Nash, who are one of my other favourite bands. So I really like Graham Nash. The first two Crosby, Stills, Nash albums, just amazing, aren't they? So absolutely fantastic. So this one was recorded. This one still had Graham Nash was still in the band for this, I think. But this song was actually written by Graham Goldman. Graham Goldman was the guy. He wrote loads of songs in the 60s for bands like the Hollies and the Yardbirds and all sorts of mid to late 60s bands. But of course, more famously went on to form the band 10cc. And they had a massive hit with You're Not Alone. you know, that one. It's a classic. I can't remember the lyrics from the rest of it, which is going to kill Shaz because it's one of her favourite songs. But there we go. But yeah, fantastic. So this one was written by Graham Goldman for the Hollies, and it's interesting because I think Graham Goldman wrote it. It has a different feel, although you'll notice that the structure is very familiar. Cheryl was just asking, this is one song where playing F, C shortcut doesn't sound quite right, so sticking to F and C. Let's have a listen. Cheryl's talking about the Carousel. Yeah, sometimes you can do a little trick when you're changing between F and C and keep your little finger down on the high C note, like Cheryl said. Okay, and the cool thing about that is it allows you to change easier, but Cheryl's right, in this song it needs that open A, I think, because it matches the lyric da 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 da. So yeah, I think that one is better to change as well. I think the same thing with this next one as well, Shell, which is interesting. Did I sing You're Not Alone, Tim? I think I might have done. Oh my gosh, Shaz is going to kill me later. I'm not in love, so don't you fake it. But yeah. Oh, Crosby, Stills and Nash Kanikapila. Yes, please. Pam, that's a great idea. We did do a Laurel Canyon one, but I think just Crosby, Stills and Nash, that would be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it? So yeah, let's do it. I'm in. Cool. Let me know if there's any other bands that you ever want me to do for Kanikapila. I'm more than happy to look at them. If I don't know any of their songs, it can be quite tough because Kanikapila is easier when I know the songs, just because I need to teach them to you. But generally I can learn most stuff, so let me know if you're interested. So don't forget it. Thanks, Tim. Oh, I'm going to get told off so much later. Okay, right, let's have a look at this next one. So Bus Stop. Now, this is interesting because we're in a minor key. So it's the first time tonight we've had a minor key. Remember that major keys sound kind of happy, laid back, kind of upbeat. Minor keys tend to sound melancholy or dark. But because they play this with so much verve and the chords go quickly together, it doesn't sound too dark, but it just has a slightly different flavour, which is interesting. Yeah, teach your children would be great. Teach your children well. Your father's house will slowly go by. That'd be a great one. Nice. Just email me these, Indrani, because I'll never remember, but cool. I don't know Indigo and Indigo Girls. I definitely know Crowded House, so that's totally doable. Cool. Okay, right. So let's have a look. What I mean by this song is still doing something familiar is the fact that we're still changing between two chords every measure. And isn't that interesting? Even though Graham Goldman is writing for the Hollies, he's using one of the Hollies' favourite tricks, which is changing between two chords nice and quickly. And you know how we get C and F tends to come up in a major progression, that's 1 and 4. In a minor progression, it quite often ends up with 1 and 7. The chords just fit together really, really fantastic. We're getting loads of good ideas, by the way, which is cool. So we've got D minor going to C, over and over. You could use your little finger just to make it an easier change. And notice when I put the lyrics in, there is a slightly more darker sound, even though it's a pop song. Bus stop, wet day, she's there, I say, please share my umbrella. Bus stop, bus go, she stays, love grows under my umbrella. So it's kind of, yeah, it does affect things slightly. I think it gives it almost like a slightly psychedelic kind of vibe, which is nice. Jonathan Edwards, wow, Karen, that's a really cool idea. Yeah, Indigo Girls, loving it. I'll put them together in my mind and in my notepad on my iPad, so I don't forget it as well. So that's the verses. Now, there's one thing to look out for at the end of this verse. And if you miss it, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's okay. But the very last C chord in the very last measure before we go to the chorus, it only lasts for one beat. So it's quite tricky. So that means you play D minor for 1, 2, 3, 1. We did it in one of the REM songs we had recently, didn't we, with that one change? 1, 2, 3, 1. So just look out for it. It comes up quite quick. If I do one of the verses that goes into the chorus, you'll see what I mean. Bus stop, bus go, she stays, love grows under my umbrella. Notice that? To be honest, if you do just hit 1, 2, 1, 2, it's fine. It'll be fine. Then in the chorus, we've got some really simple chords, F, C, D minor. Notice that we hang on to that D minor for a whole measure now. F and C, D minor. G minor, you'll notice that more minor chords come up because we're in a minor key song. That's like a G, but the third has been flatted into a minor, G minor. A minor, another minor, and then we're back to D minor and C. Interestingly, the last D gets turned into a major chord, so you're expecting a D minor there, and it goes up to a major, and that lifts the end of that chorus, which is really nice. Now, a lot of people aren't into all this fairy stuff, and it's fine, and I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but some people love these little nuggets. So we call that a Picardy third, where you're expecting a minor chord, but you get a major chord. And basically the Picardy third comes because the third note in the key of D is F, D, E, F. So you're expecting this F note in the chord, but it's sharpened, that F is sharpened to an F sharp, which creates a D major. The Beatles do it at the end of And I Love Her. It's really, really nice. So it just lifts the end of that chorus. Listen out for it. Measure after next. Really cool, isn't it? It gives it a real 60s vibe as well, which is really, really nice. So the choruses will sound like this. Here we go. All that summer we enjoyed it, wind and rain and shine. That umbrella we employed it, by August she was mine. Really nice, right? Really, really cool. Then we've got a bridge which has some really unusual chords. We've got an F, which you would expect. That's quite common, isn't it? Every morning. Then in E7, I would see her. The only reason that works is because we go to an A minor next, and E7 is 5 above A minor. It's one of those circular fifths things. A minor, G, and then we're back to the F. Then we do D minor, E7, and we rest on A minor. F again, E7 again, A minor, and F, D minor, and then we've got that E7 one more time, and then A minor. Remember, whenever you see no chord in a piece of music, whether it be Kanikapila or anything else, it kind of means just strum the chord once and let it hang. So when you do the A minor at the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then just let it hang for the rest of the measure, which is really nice. So that will sound like this. Every morning I would see her waiting at the stop. Sometimes she'd shop and she would show me what she bought. Other people stared as if we were both quite insane. Someday my name and hers are going to be the same. which is quite cool. Oh, you're coming up with some great ideas, by the way, for future Kanikapilas. I will make a note of all these, absolutely. That, again, is a really 60s sounding bridge, isn't it? It's just classic. They always used to play this on Gold FM. Does anyone remember Gold? I'm not sure it exists anymore. Me and Sharon always used to listen to Gold FM or Capital FM on our early morning commute from Crystal Palace to Lambeth. And Sharon would go on to Elephant and Castle, where she used to teach a primary school there. And I used to go on to Minette, which is like Myersfield in London. That's where Florence from Florence and the Machine came from. And funny enough, what's her name? Britt Eklund. She used to live there. She used to come into my library with her little tiny dogs and wearing a big fur coat and stuff. Anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but we always used to listen to 60s radio on the way. Capital Gold or what was the other one I just said? I can't remember now. Anyway, sorry. There's one more thing you can have a go at this one, changing the subject quickly, and that is this cool bit of tablature up here. And this is just that little intro. You might recognise it. It's that da 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 da. Let me show you it up close so you can have a go. It's just the introduction, which is really nice. So you hold down a D minor chord, bog standard D minor, and you just strum down with your thumb, or you could pick the notes, but I like to just strum down to the F note, that one there, and you don't play the A string. Then you immediately take this finger away, keep the other two down until you have to just lift up for that 0, that open C. And then you can just hit those two again. It'll sound like this. Let me do it in slow motion. And then a bit faster. A bit faster again. And then the next measure, you just strum that D sus chord. It's like a D, but without this note on the G string. Follow it with a C chord, and just do that as many times around as you want. Okay, that's your little intro. Again, you don't have to put that in, but I think it just sounds really, really sweet and really, really cool. So I think that's everything you need to know on this one. This one's in a key of D minor, so you can use the D minor pentatonic to solo over this one. Let me just bring that in because we haven't done too many in the key of D minor. Great suggestions, by the way. I'm only not bringing them on screen because there's so many of them, but it's brilliant. Everyone in the chat's talking about future ideas, and I love that. So keep it coming, guys. That's brilliant. So I just need to go, I think it's here. Sorry guys, just finding it. So if you want to have a solo and you've got your sheets, this is page 19, and we're going to use the D minor pentatonic and the F major. So D minor pentatonic is the one at the top, which starts on a C string from the 2nd fret, goes up to your dot at the 5th. Then you can do 3rd fret to 5th, 3rd fret to 5th on the next one. Okay, so that's D to F, G to A, C to D. Or you can think of it as 2, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Okay. You can also combine that with the F major pentatonic if you want, which goes on the C string from 5 to 7. And then 5 to 8 and 5 to 8. Hopefully these shapes are starting to become relatively familiar. And if you get used to combining those, notice that covers quite a large amount of the fretboard, which is fantastic, which will sound great. I think, did I record a backing track for Bus Stop? Yeah, I did. Okay, so we've got this kind of. So on and so forth. You just noodle about, and you'll get some great sounding solos in a key of D minor on that one, which can also be thought of as F major. You can pair them together. Okay, let's give it a go then. It's quite a quick tempo, this one, so don't worry if you haven't got the intro yet, because this is really probably tricky at this pace. We're going to go really fast. About there. Yeah. Da, 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 da. About there. Okay, so let's give it a try, and if not, just get your D minor ready to come in on the next bit. Alright, I'll have to change the page, so hopefully you've got your sheets at home for that intro, or just strum D minor and C, you'll be fine. Okay, here we go. I'll just tip back a bit. There we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I wasn't ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. Bus stop, wet day, please said. Oh. Third time lucky. I'm so sorry, I forgot the words. I'm so sorry. Sorry. 2, 3, 4. That's better. Bus stop, wet day, she's there, I say, please share my umbrella. Bus stop, bus goes, she stays, love grows under my umbrella. All that summer we enjoyed it, wind and rain and shine. That umbrella, we employed it, by August she was mine. Every morning I would see her waiting at the stop. Sometimes she'd shop and she would show me what she bought. Other people stared as if we were both quite insane. Someday my name and hers are going to be the same. 2, 3, 4. That's the way the whole thing started. Silly, but it's true. Thinking of a sweet romance beginning in the queue. Came the sun, the ice was melting. No more sheltering now. Nice to think that that umbrella led me to a vow. Interlude. Try a little solo. And strum with me. D minor and C. Now D. And here's our bridge. Every morning I would see her waiting at the shop. Sometimes she'd stop. She would show me what she bought. Other people stared as if we were both quite insane. Someday my name and hers are going to be the same. 2, 3, 4. Bus stop, wet day, she's there, I say, please share my umbrella. Bus stop, bus goes, she says, love grows under my umbrella. All that summer we enjoyed it, wind and rain and shine. That umbrella, we employed it, by August she was mine. Yeah, very cool. Cool again. Absolutely brilliant. Graham Goldman, what a songwriter, eh? So absolutely fantastic. And it's interesting, isn't it, that, like I say, I know I'm banging on about the same stuff, but even though we're in a minor key, it still has that bum, 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 bum that On a Carousel had and Carrie-Anne, which is brilliant. But giving it that minor key definitely gives it a different flavour, doesn't it? It feels kind of slightly darker, slightly kind of almost psychedelic, which is nice. As Indrani just said, you took the words right out of my mouth. Anyone, what is that song from? Took the words right out of my mouth. Who sang that one? I know, I'm just not going to tell you. I'm going to wait for someone to say in the comments. Just a reminder before our last song that we've got another wonderful, hopefully, live lesson this Wednesday where we're going to look at how to build any chord on the ukulele. So a lot of theory, but we will apply it, and hopefully it's going to ding ding bring out lots of those light bulb moments, which is what we want. I don't think I have a light bulb sound effect, but I do have ding, a triangle. There we go. That works, doesn't it? Hang on, I'm going to do that again. So hopefully lots of light bulb moments, which would be fantastic. It's going to be at 3:30 in the afternoon UK time, but you can watch the replay whenever you want. And remember that every single one of the live sessions we've done, apart from one because I forgot to upload it, Karen reminded me today, I need to go back and do it. But generally, every single live lesson that we do is available on replay. And even if the link doesn't work, because it only ever works for the current one, don't panic, because on the archive, all the links go through fine and you can watch all of these lessons again. So if you're not sure, just go to learnukulele.com. That's learnukulele.com, and then just go to live lessons and the live lesson archive, and you'll find them all there, which is cool. And there's literally hundreds of them, so yeah, and all the old Kanikapilas are there archived as well, hundreds of those, so lots to check out. But join me live if you can, because it's loads of fun and you can ask questions live, which is fantastic. Okay, let's have a look at our last song now. This one I've had to change around a little bit. Originally this one was in the key of D, but it's quite awkward to play on ukulele in the key of D, and I wanted to keep things simple because it's our last song, and if nothing else, I'm always absolutely wiped out by this last song, so I want to make sure it's a bit easier for me. So we haven't got the full riff, but what we have got is a really cool blues lick, which is the main part of the song as we go, which I think you'll enjoy. This one was recorded in 1972, this one. So that was a few years after Nash had quit and gone to LA. And it's really interesting. It doesn't sound like what I think of as the Hollies, because by this point their sound was changing, I guess. It's got a real bluesy sound. Apparently they were quite influenced. I think Alan Clark had a lot to do with this one. They were quite influenced by the kind of Creedence Clearwater Revival sound, and you can hear it if you listen to it live, especially. They put a lot of reverb on the vocals, and it has that like epic sound to it, which is quite nice. And it's kind of traditional blues, but really it's like a form of 8-bar blues, and you can see that apart from that final extra measure that's in there at the end of the verses, it's basically 8 bars. You can see them. We've got 8 bars here, we've got 8 bars here, we've got 8 bars here, 4 bars, half of 8, and then 8 bars here as well. Sorry, I've got these beeps coming through after I did that triangle, and now I don't know how to stop them, but I don't know if they're picking up your end, but if you get a boop boop, just ignore it. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me know if you are, because I'm intrigued now. So what we're going to do, you'll notice that a lot of it just involves staying on a C chord, but what we're going to do is we're going to make that C chord much more interesting by adding a blues riff. So here's our bog standard C chord, right? What we're going to do is we're going to add to that C chord an F note, which is like turning it into a C sus4. Then we're going to add to it a G note, and go back. So you get this nice blues riff. Notice I'm hitting off, 1, 3, 1, off, 1, 3, 1. And that just gives you that nice kind of blues riff that we get going through the kind of background, which is really, really nice. And you can keep that going over the C chords down here as well. Oh, well done, Karen. Good to have you back. Good to have you get back. I bet we missed loads of your favourite songs. This one was one of Karen's favourite because apparently Karen says in a fascinating fact in the back that it was her first dance at school. So there you go. There you go. I won't ask whether you got your first kiss or not, Karen. That's just for you. But no, brilliant. I love that. I think my first dance was Kylie Minogue. I can't remember. I think it might have been Do Locomotive. I can't quite, or Locomotion even. I can't quite remember, but yeah. So that's the basis of it, is that kind of really nice riff. Now, the other thing that's quite cool in this one is we have the flatted third chord, an E flat. Normally we'd play an E minor in the key of C. Okay, and I'm just gonna do. I just had a note come up. Sound effects are playing on the Max built-in speakers. Oh, I think it's this thing. Sorry guys, I just realised I need to turn my speakers off. That's okay. Cool. Okay, that should stop the beeping. Oh, it was Barbara's first dance. Oh, I'm sorry, Karen. I've done you an injustice. It was Barbara's first dance. Wow, Bazza. You can let us know whether or not it was your first kiss. Okay, right. So that's the kind of riff as we go around. Now we've got the E flat. The reason we have an E flat chord, which looks like this. Okay, if I go to the next page, you'll see the chord diagram. One finger down here like playing a C7, and then 2 fingers down the middle. Barbara's a bit poorly at the moment. That's why she's not in here and commenting on us all talking about her first dance, just in case anyone wondered. But thanks Barbara and Karen if you do watch this later on. Okay. So the reason we play this E flat is because this chord is based on the flatted third of a C scale, and the reason we do that is when we play the blues scale, if I just play it through, it's this open C, then the 3rd fret here for this E flat, and then 1, 2, 3 on this string, F, G flat, G, B flat, and C. So this is the C blues scale. That one I'm bending there is the E flat. So because the blues makes use of this this E flat note, it's often used as a chord as well, which is really, really cool. So we have, let's just go back to it. In terms of the chords, on the verses, we've got C. Then we go to E flat, get this finger down first, scout it out. And then you can either put the riff back in or you can just play C. E flat. Isn't that cool? It gives a real kind of grittiness to it, a bluesiness, which is really, really lovely. That will sound something like this. Let me just bring up the lyrics so you can hear them. Okay. Saturday night I was downtown working for the FBI. Sitting in a nest of Batman, whiskey bottles piled high. And again, you can either do the riff or just stay on C. Bootleg and booze are on the west side, full of people who are doing wrong. Just about to call up the DA man when I heard this woman sing a song. then the chorus is really cool because it does something that the earlier songs did, even though it sounds completely different because it's bluesy. We go to the F chord, the change chord. So we got this F chord just for a whole 2 measures. Pair of 45s made me open my eyes. Then we go up to the tension of the 5 chord. Temperature started to rise. And then the chorus, we're also on an F chord. She was a long woman in a black dress. And then back to that little E flat. 5 and 9, beautiful and tall. She was just one look, I was in a bad mess. Cause that long cold woman had it all. Okay, pretty cool, right? So it's like classic blues basically. If you get lost, just play C and then just look out for that E flat to F, and you'll get it in no time, which is really cool. If you did want to solo to this one, there's not really any spots, but if you wanted to, you could use that C blues scale. Just as a quick reminder, from the C string, that was an open C, 3rd fret, that's our E flat note, and then 1, 2, 3 on the E string, F, G flat, G, and 1, 3 on the A string. Notice there's lots of 3s in this one. We play an E flat, a G, and a C all at this fret. So that's your C blues scale. You can also, some people like to also add in a couple of higher notes where we can play the 3rd fret of the E string to the 6th fret of the E string, and then 3rd fret to the 6th fret of the A string too. Just in case anyone's really feeling like getting their blues on and they want to have a go at a little solo on this, which would be great. Tim's just saying it was 1972 single, but always getting massive airplay in my house when it was released on the Distant Light album in 71. Spring 1971 in the UK, late summer in the US. But that's cool, isn't it? It just feels like such a change, doesn't it, from their early pop-tastic stuff. But still cool, still very cool. Indrani was just asking me, what strings do I have on my Kamaka? Good question. With my Kamaka, Indrani, I go away from what I normally do, which is clear fluorocarbons, or I like Uke Logic Pinks, which is what I use on nearly all my ukes. But on my Kamaka I use, they're just Fremont Blackline. They're fluorocarbons, but I always feel like Kamaka ukuleles, because originally they had black nylon strings, they should have black strings on. And Fremont strings are a little bit less sustaining than normal fluorocarbons, and I think that works really well for kind of Hawaiian music. So I do a lot of Hawaiian music on this one. So yeah, Fremont black lines these, and on my Otasan one, which is slightly longer scale, I use a low G, which is a Fremont soloist as well. So yeah. Rebecca said, question for Wednesday's lesson if it fits. I was watching Matt Dahlberg's lesson on slides. He was sliding between frets 3 and 5 and 5 and 7 in a lot of examples. Okay, let's have a look. So kind of 3. So, I'm just checking. I'll have a look at that, Rebecca. I couldn't quite work out which was that for last Wednesday's lesson. The last live lesson. I'm getting all confused. So yeah, just let me know, Rebecca, if that's for the last live lesson or the one that we've got coming up this week, because I get really confused sometimes. So yeah, just let me know. Okay, so that's basically it for this one. Just keep playing it round and round. I'll keep this page up so you can see it. Notice we've got verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Then we've got an instrumental, which is just a verse again, I think. Let me just check. Oh no, yeah, it is. So we're just going to do the instrumental as well. And then we've got verse 2, verse 3, and then another chorus. So just follow it on. The outro riff, where it says had it all, that's just over either the riff or if you want, you can just do it on a C chord. Okay, cool. So let's have a look then. Let's give it a try. So yeah, let's go for it. Sorry, Rebecca, I'll get back to you at the end. Yeah, no worries, no worries. Okay, here we go. By the way, because this is my last one, I'll stick around obviously to see if there's any questions, or if anyone wants to chat at the end is always nice as well. So any questions, ping them over during the last song, and Rebecca, I'll get back to your question as well. But thank you for all your support tonight. If you're able to like this video and share it, that's a massive, massive help. If you're not already a member of the website, best way to support me is to join up. It's £10 a month for silver or £12 for gold, or you can get everything you get for gold for annual membership for a little bit less. Excuse me. With an annual membership as well. There's 10 courses there, all sequential. There's 3 main ones: beginners, intermediate, and next steps. And then there's also the specialist ones. So we've got Beatles, we've got blues and jazz, we've got uke theory, all sorts of stuff on there. So do check it out. And don't forget to join me this Wednesday for the next live lesson as well. Karen's just saying she likes to play this one in D, but C works as well. I do like that riff, Karen. I just didn't think my brain would cope with it for the last song. But yeah, I do like that. Yeah. Interesting pronunciation. In California, there's a historic figure, John C. Fremont, and there's the city of Fremont. It's pronounced Fremont. But now that I think about it, Fremont is good too. Yeah, sure. I've always called them Fremont because I've heard American ukulele players refer to them as that. But Fremont makes more sense to me. It kind of sounds, yeah, it sounds right. But they always say Fremont, so I don't know. Tomatoes, tomatoes. Let's not call the whole thing off though. Okay, here we go. Let's give the last song a go then. I'll probably go horribly wrong. Just look out for this verse here. We stay on the F for twice as long. I've gotta be forgiven if I wanna spend my living with a long cool woman in a black dress, just a 5'9", beautiful and tall. You'll soon get it when we get there. All right, let's give it a go. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Saturday night I was downtown, working for the FBI, sitting in a nest of Batman, whiskey bottles piling high. Bootleg and boozer on the west side, full of people who are doing wrong. Just about to call up the DA man when I heard this woman sing a song. Pair of 45s made me open my eyes. My temperature started to rise. She was a long, cool woman in a black dress, just a 5'9", beautiful and tall. With just one look, I was a bad mess, 'cause that long, cool woman had it all. Saw her standing to the table with a tall, walking big black cat. Charlie said, I hope that you're able, boy. Well, I'm telling you, she knows where it's at. Suddenly we heard the sirens and everybody started to run, jumping out the doors and the tables. Then I heard someone shooting a gun. Well, the DA was pumping my left was a 5'9", beautiful and tall. With just one look, I was a bad mess, 'cause that long cold woman had it all. She had it all. She had it all. There we go. Apologies to Karen and to Barbara and all Hollies fans. 1970s Hollies, I just don't know it well enough. 60s Hollies, I'm there. So apologies if I played that completely wrong, but anyway, it was fun. It was blues. We got to play some cool E flats and everything. So yeah, it was all good. It was all good. Now let's go back. Rebecca was asking about that that Wednesday lesson. Let me know if you've got any questions at all, guys, with any of this at all. I'm trying to remember, what did we do at last live lesson? It seems so long ago. I've almost completely forgot, which is absolutely crazy. What do we do? I have it on my Finder probably. Let me see. Oh, was it? It wasn't line cliche, was it? Oh, I'm having a daft moment. Was it Here Comes the Sun? Was it the Here Comes the Sun one? Maybe. Yeah, it might be that. Rebecca, I'll have a proper look at your email tomorrow and I'll get back to you. I can't quite remember. Sorry, Rebecca. My brain's gone a bit kaput. Okay. Yeah, it was a bit chaotic in Johnny, absolutely. But it was fun. It was fun as well. So yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, it's about the upcoming lesson on building chords. Oh, okay. So Rebecca was just saying, did it sound nice to my ears because it was thirds? Oh, yeah. Sorry, Rebecca, I get you completely. Yeah, so you're saying like he was playing 3 and 5 sort of, and 5 and 7. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Rebecca, you're dead right. So the reason that sounded sweet to your ears, if Matt was going up to 3 and 5, different Matt, is, yeah, it's because it's thirds. So this one here, for instance, is A to C. A, B, C. And this one here is B to D. B, C, D. So yeah, that'll be why it's that kind of that lovely sound of having any notes that are a third apart are lovely. I love playing in thirds. I'll often do a lot of this stuff, Rebecca. So I'll do thirds on this string, and then on here, and you can kind of. Those are all thirds played at the same time. They just sound so sweet. I really love hearing thirds. When the Hollies sing, incidentally, that sounds really nice as well because they sing a third apart as well, which is lovely. So yeah, sliding as well. I'm not sure about sliding, Rebecca. I'll have to have a look. I'll have to see if I can have a look at his lesson to figure it out. He might have been sliding into a chord. You can often, so say you're doing that one, you can slide into it, which sounds really nice. You could do the same with that one as well. So yeah, that's something you can do and it should sound quite sweet. But I'll have a look at Matt's lesson and then I'll know for sure. We had another one. Laura, is it one riff for each bar? Yeah, it's one riff for each bar of C. You can keep it going the whole time if you wanted to have a go at this one. Let me just bring the sheets up a sec so that we can see it. So each one of those, each one of those lasts a measure. So. basically, Laura, every time you do the riff, if you do it in the intro, it's just one per measure. So you would do that 8 times. And then another line of that. In the chorus, you can actually do the riff every time you play a C. So 2 times through the riff. And then E flat, F, and then the riff. And then you would go for another round. E flat, F, and then the riff. Notice on this riff, we've got twice as long, that last riff, and that's because he does this interesting thing where he takes the vocal up and he gives it a bit of room to go. So the last one, for instance, you do just about to call up the DA now when I heard this woman sing a song. So sometimes I'll even add some extras. I think I might have done that in the song, which might confuse things, but sometimes I'll add some extra C's at the end of that one. It just kind of fills it out a little bit as well. So just experiment and see what works for you. And yeah, you got it. Fantastic, fantastic. All right then, guys, well, come and join me on Wednesday if you can. I'd love to see a load of you there, because you guys ask brilliant questions and it really helps me with my teaching. So please come along if you can this Wednesday, when we're going to learn how to build any chord on the ukulele. And if you've got any chords that you think I really don't understand what they are, augmented chords, what are those? Diminished 7, what the heck are they? Let me know and bring your questions along and I'll answer it as we go along on Wednesday as well. So any chord in the whole wide world, you can challenge me and I'll see if I can explain what it is, why it is, and how we use it. So hopefully you find that really, really useful on Wednesday. Thanks for a lovely session tonight. Extra thanks to Karen and Barbara for all their work on the sheets and everything, and particularly Karen for choosing the songs and doing the arrangements this time. It was really, really cool. And I enjoyed every single song actually, so that was fantastic. Yeah, make sure you've got a coffee for Wednesday. I'll bring one too. We'll all have a coffee ready to keep us going, so that'll be fantastic. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Oh, that's nice. Thanks, Jenny. That's good to know. I hadn't heard the last song before. Fantastic. I got lost myself, Pam, so don't worry. I always do with blues. I don't know why. But yeah, that's it. Cool. Sorry, Rebecca. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, brilliant. Well, have a fantastic couple of days, and I'll see you on Wednesday. We will be back for another Kanikapila the week after that, where we're going to be doing, next week we're going to be doing the Kinks, which should be loads of fun. Then we're going to have another Kanikapila after that, which will be the 1st of December. Then it's my ukulele retreat, the Christmas ukulele retreat. So we're not going to have a proper Kanikapila that Monday. That'll be the 8th of December. But I'm going to try and record as much of the retreat as I can, a bit like I did in the summer. So we might be able to do it virtually, which should be fun. But leave that with me, I'll let you know. And then after the retreat, we'll be back for 2 Christmas specials. It worked so well last year. We had 2 Christmas specials where we played songs out of the retreat book, and it was a whole heap of fun. So we'll do that again this time. We'll have some classic Kanikapila Christmas. So yeah, fantastic. All right then, guys, well, take care. Have a wonderful couple of days, and I will see you Wednesday, hopefully. You can't, everyone. Stay ace, stay brilliant. Take care.